because I did cry from the beginning to the end, and I now look back going, wow, I can't really believe that I walked in and was crying and left crying.
Most movies and TV shows end with emotional goodbyes, but what the cast of Stranger Things experienced was something very different. They didn't just work together, they grew up together on this set for more than 10 years. It became their second home, and walking away from it is not something we usually see in Hollywood. Tears were everywhere. Some of them cried so much they could barely hold themselves together. And the pain went far beyond a show ending.
It was really emotional, and I don't know if I'll ever have another experience like it.
This wasn't just the final day of work. It was the moment they realized their childhood was officially over. For many of them, Stranger Things wasn't just a job. It was their first real success, the place where they grew up, and the world where they learned who they truly were. Watch till the end as we take you through the unforgettable moments from the very last day on the set of Stranger Things.
It was very sad. I was, heartbroken. I was devastated. I was crying, and it was really hard to say goodbye.
I remember being like, oh, this is it. Oh my God, this is it. This is it. This is actually it. And then we finished, and it was like, yeah, super emotional. It was like,
The crew announced, "This is the last one." Something completely unexpected happened. Noah Schnapp revealed that instead of walking out of the set, the cast stayed inside. They didn't want to leave. They didn't want that moment to end. What followed was silence, hugs, and uncontrollable tears. They sat together, huddled up, crying, while people outside waited. Noah said he had never experienced anything like it in his life. Finn Wolfhard remembered telling everyone not to rush out. He wanted them to stay together for as long as possible, just for that moment to remain theirs. Once they stepped outside, it would belong to everyone else. Until then, it was just them, the people who grew up together. Finn later clarified it wasn't 10 full minutes, but even 3 or 4 minutes felt sacred. It was quiet, emotional, and real. He described it as the most genuine Stranger Things moment they had ever shared.
And isn't graduation supposed to bring relief? Like, you're glad to leave behind the teachers and classmates? Not me. I am nowhere near ready to leave you guys. I love each and every one of you, and I'll forever carry the memories and bonds we've created together as a family. I love you. Thank you.
For Maya Hawke, the ending left her feeling lost. She admitted she didn't even know how to talk about life without the show. She missed Atlanta, missed being on set every day, and missed the people. Losing Stranger Things felt like losing a routine, a family, and a sense of belonging all at once.
And I love everybody on that show so much. And it's shaped me so much.
Noah said it still didn't feel like the end. Not fully. But he knew that final day marked something far bigger than just wrapping a production. It felt like closing an entire era of his life. A chapter that could never be reopened.
And the last day of this last season was probably saddest, but best days, if that makes sense. And, it was just really special to have all of our parents and everyone we've ever worked on the show with there together to say goodbye.
Caleb McLaughlin described the experience as an emotional roller coaster. Memories came flooding back nonstop. Every moment on set reminded him of something from the past. A laugh, a scene, a memory. He kept thinking, does it really have to end now? The realization hit him all at once, and it was impossible to hold back. Unlike some of the others, Caleb chose to look back with gratitude rather than fear. He said he felt blessed to be part of something that touched millions of people. For him, Stranger Things wasn't just his childhood dream, it was also something that helped fans escape their pain and trauma.
I am still processing the ending of this journey, because so many different moments of something ending, like our last day on set last year and our last premiere, and just like our last first day. I can keep going, but I think in all hindsight, I'm grateful for it all.
For Gaten Matarazzo, the final day felt like the last day of school. Nobody was focused. Everyone was moving around, hugging, talking, laughing, crying. Almost everyone who had ever worked on the show was there. He joked that it was probably a fire hazard because so many people were packed into one space. That alone shows how much love surrounded the show.
I don't think I ever really wanted to put it behind me. I'd love for it to remain something that stays in my present mind and heart, because I don't think I can ever let go of something as influential as this.
Noah took his goodbyes very seriously. He said every minute felt like a countdown. He even stood in the bathroom saying goodbye to pieces of the set. It reminded him of season 1, when they were just kids, rolling around in the grass, playing tag, and chasing ice cream trucks. That day felt like childhood coming full circle. All their moms even showed up on set, something that hadn't happened in years. They took photos together, freezing that moment forever. Caleb admitted he knew he was going to cry, even though he pretended he wouldn't. He spent the last week asking everyone if they were going to cry, insisting that he wouldn't. In reality, he was one of the first people to break down, and he didn't stop crying. For David Harbour, talking about the end felt like talking about family. He said there was so much love on that set, especially on the final day. The story itself paid off things that began in season 1. The show started with kids in a basement, and it ended with those kids grown up. Watching time pass so clearly was deeply moving. Maya reflected on how different the last season felt for her. In her first 2 seasons, she still felt like the new kid, like a guest invited to Thanksgiving dinner. But in the final season, she truly felt like part of the family. That made it even more painful. Just as she finally felt fully included, the family was breaking apart. Jamie Campbell Bower shared a quiet moment with Sadie Sink on his last day. Sadie asked him if this was how it felt. Jamie admitted he was in shock. The emotions were too big to process in real time.
But I know the hardest thing to say goodbye to is just like the fact that we won't come together on set in that way ever again.
Maya later revealed that she spent nearly 12 hours in a cycle of crying. She would pull herself together to film a scene, only to start crying again during it, and then cry even more afterward. It was an endless loop of emotion. A truly weepy day.
And it was so emotional. I cried all day long.
For Millie Bobby Brown, the ending felt like reaching the finish line of something massive. She felt proud. We did it. But the weight of finality was crushing. She admitted she cried far more than she expected, even though she knew professionally and personally that the show ending made sense. Emotionally, she wasn't ready for it to truly be over. When her final day arrived, everything suddenly felt overwhelming. From her last coffee on set to the final mark she would stand on, she became painfully aware that this was it. Nothing would ever be the same again. She broke down when reality finally settled in. The show that raised her was ending, and she wasn't ready to let go. Later, Millie took to Instagram to mourn 11. She shared photos from her early days on set, memories of laughter, and moments that defined her childhood.
You know, that the last 10 years has been actually the majority of my life and the other kids' lives. It was really emotional to say goodbye to everyone and our crew members, the people who raised us. So, I look back on that day now, with happiness.
She ended her post with a video where she admitted how unhappy she was to leave the cast she grew up with. For her, it felt like graduation, a moment where everyone must go their separate ways, even though their bond will last forever. Noah said he made sure to say goodbye to everyone on the call sheet. Every single goodbye hurt more than he imagined. One of the hardest moments came when he realized how much Winona Ryder meant to him. She had been like a second mother during his childhood. Saying goodbye to her felt unbearable. Without the show, staying connected suddenly felt harder, and that realization broke him. The cast still tried to find moments of joy. Finn mentioned that it was Gaten's birthday, so they threw a small party afterward and went to medieval times. It became a bittersweet memory. Laughter mixed with tears. Charlie Heaton talked about the little things that hurt the most. The last time in hair and makeup, the last time getting mic'd up, the last drive to set. Every small routine suddenly felt heavy because they knew it was the final time. Natalia Dyer said people came just to support each other emotionally. Cast and crew alike felt the weight of the moment. It wasn't just actors saying goodbye. Everyone who helped build the show was grieving together. Joe Keery noted how many people showed up even when they weren't scheduled to work. The scene itself was heavy, and everyone felt exhausted after shooting for an entire year. They were ready to finish. But once they reached the end, everyone wished they could have just one more moment. Jamie Campbell Bower shared that during the final read-through, he watched the cast go through wave after wave of emotion. When he spoke to the Duffer Brothers, all he could say was thank you for creating something that meant so much to so many people. Finn explained that much of the dialogue in the final episode echoed real-life emotions. Things the characters said were things the actors themselves had felt. When he thought he wouldn't cry, he ended up crying harder than ever. In the end, Stranger Things didn't just end a story. It closed a chapter of real lives. These weren't just actors finishing a job. They were kids saying goodbye to the place that raised them. And that is why this ending hurts. Not just for them, but for everyone who grew up watching alongside them. And when fans finally watch the last episode, they won't just be watching a finale. They'll be saying goodbye too. So what do you think about it? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.